So when we start, superior labia, inferior labia, upper and lower lip. This space right here between the lips and the teeth is the oral vestibule. This is the oral cavity. This bone is two bones. The anterior 2/3 of the hard palate is the palatine process of the maxilla. The posterior 1/3 of the hard palate is the palatine bone. This is the soft palate, and that's the uvula. This area right here is the oral cavity, is the oral pharynx. This part here is the laryngopharynx. This is the oral cavity. When we come down, this is the esophagus. The esophagus comes down. Hand me the stomach, please. Both sides. When we come down here, where the esophagus comes into the stomach, right there is the cardia. It sits right on top, the cardiac sphincter. Just this piece right there is the cardia. This piece is the fundus of the stomach, and this piece is the pylorus. So this piece in between my fingers is the body. So I have the fundus, the body, and the pylorus. Here's the here's the cardiac sphincter. Here's the pyloric sphincter. Okay? You got that? All right. So then we do the layers. First thing you need to know is that these transient ridges are rugae. If I say name the layer, that's mucosa. The white layer going all the way around is submucosa. And then I get to the muscularis externa, made up of 3 layers of muscle. The innermost layer is the oblique muscle. The middle layer is the circular muscle. And the outside layer is the longitudinal muscle. And the very outside is the serosa. This is the lesser curvature of the stomach. This is the greater curvature of the stomach. Then we go into the duodenum. This pink thing here, the C is the duodenum. You can see it right here also. It's showing plica circularis, the permanent ridges within the intestine. Now, remember that I find most of my plica circularis in the jejunum, but remember we go don't jump in. Duodenum, jejunum, ileum. This is the pancreas. This white tube coming all the way across and zigzagging down. See it? It's got the number, I don't know, I can't tell. Comes all the way across and zigzags down. That's the pancreatic duct. This one going straight across, number 5, is the accessory pancreatic duct. When I look in the duodenum, I have this raised structure right here. It's got the number 5, number 6 on it. That is the major duodenal papilla. Number 7 up here is the minor duodenal papilla. What you will see is that the gallbladder empties in right here. This green one is the common bile duct. The common bile duct and the pancreatic duct go through and exit through the major duodenal papilla, but that opening, if I say name that opening, that is the hepatopancreatic ampulla. The raised structure is the major duodenal papilla. Then you have the picture that shows the large intestine. Remember, this is the ileum. So right here is the ileocecal valve. Ileocecal valve. This is the cecum. This is the vermiform appendix. This is my ascending colon. This turn is the right hypochondriac flexure, the right colic flexure, or the hepatic flexure, and it goes across the transverse colon. And here I have the splenic flexure, the left colic flexure, or the left hypochondriac flexure, and I go down the descending colon. In that picture that you have of the intestine, it shows the sigmoid colon, it shows the rectum. Here you can see the anus, the anal. Here's the anus, these are the anal columns. This muscle on the inside is the internal anal sphincter, which is smooth muscle, and the outside is the external anal sphincter. which is skeletal muscle that you can learn to control. You have a picture of the biliary system. This is the liver. The liver makes the bile. It's stored in the gallbladder. This is the right hepatic duct. This is the left hepatic duct. And this is the common hepatic. This duct coming out of the gallbladder is the cystic duct. When the cystic duct and the common hepatic duct join, it makes the common bile duct. And you can see that over here. Okay? We look at the tongue. If you look at the picture, and that's what I'm going to use on the test, the little fine bumps are filiform papillae. They don't have any taste buds. The middle-sized bumps that you see here are the fungiform papilla. They have 10 taste buds each. And back here, you can see these, and these are the circumvallate or the vallate papillae, the 100 taste buds each. If you look here and you remember that genio means chin, glosso means tongue, hyoid means the hyoid bone, and stylo means the styloid process of the temporal bone. So here's my genio-glossal, coming from the chin to the tongue, genio-glossal. Here's my styloglossus, coming from the styloid process to the tongue. Here's my hyoglossal, coming from the hyoid bone to the tongue. Here's my genio-hyoid, right there. And this is my myohyoid. Makes up the floor of the mouth. When we look at the teeth, remember this is this part here because we cut it into 1, 2, 3, 4 quadrants. And when I do, this is the central incisor. This is the lateral incisor. And this is the bicuspid or the canine. This is your first premolar. This is your second premolar. And this is your first, second, and third molar. This would be your wisdom tooth. Central incisor, lateral incisor, canine, first premolar, second premolar, first molar, second molar, and third molar. The pink is the gingiva, the gums. This is the sublingual salivary gland, and this is the submandibular salivary gland. The parotid gland sits right here, right in front of the ear. Where's the big tooth? So when I say name this region, this is the crown. This is the neck. Now remember that the neck sits right at the gum line if you have healthy teeth and healthy gums. So here's the crown, here's the neck, and this is the root. The crown is covered with enamel. The neck and the root are covered with cementum. All of this is dentin, makes up the bulk of the tooth. This is the pulp cavity. And if I have the piece that goes in there, that's the pulp. This is the root canal. Okay? This is the root canal. You have a picture of the liver, but I'll use this because it's easier for me to do. I'm standing behind the liver. It sits right here. This is the right lobe of the liver. This is the left lobe of the liver, and this is the falciform ligament. That right there is the round ligament, or the ligamentum teres. It was the fetal umbilical vein. Now I turn it this way because it keeps everything where it belongs. Here's the right lobe, the left lobe. See this square, the rectangle here right next to the gallbladder? That's the quadrate lobe. And this one looks like a finger right next to the inferior vena cava is the caudate lobe. So you need to know the right lobe of the liver, the left lobe of the liver, the falciform ligament, the round ligament, the quadrate lobe, and the caudate lobe. That's everything you need to know on the liver. Don't forget, you need to look at your picture of the small intestine. You have your picture of the small intestine. Well, we'll look here. See this line coming here? There's 3 lines. This is the coli, the coli tendinae? No. Tendinae coli. I got it. Hold on, let me see that. I'll tell you. I wrote it down. Oh, this is the Tendinae coli. This is actually your longitudinal muscle of the large intestine. Each one of these little pillows is the haustra. Here, you can see the circular muscle of the large intestine. You have your picture of the small intestine that I gave you. Give me that one. Give me, no, not that one. This one. This one shows you the parotid gland, the sublingual gland, and the submandibular gland. I'll do the submandibular gland and the sublingual gland on there. This one I have to do the parotid. Where's the other picture I gave you? The ones I gave you and the ones I loaded up.
Okay, we weren't able to print them.
All right, couldn't.
It wouldn't let us print over there. It was active.
Oh, okay. Well, look at them, and just know that when we look at the, give me one of the small intestines. When we look, I'll use the one that I loaded up tonight because it has a better picture. It has a better picture of these. Remember that this is plica circularis, and then it comes over here and it's got this picture. This piece coming right up the middle is the lacteal. That's where your lipids get absorbed into the lymphatic system. These bumps, and it shows one, and this is the villi. And then if we were to look at the villi, there's little teeny tiny hairs, hair-like structures on each one of those little pink bumps. And that's microvilli. And in the picture I gave you, it shows it up here. Okay?
So the only picture ones that you loaded up today that we need are will be using
Those
for
four.
tests.
The tongue.
All of them. Okay.
The tongue, the liver one is there so you can learn this.
Okay.
So, but the one I'm going to use on the test is I'm going to use the tongue, I'm going to use the biliary system, and I'm going to use the small intestine, those three,
And then this.
and that one. But that one's coming out of the PowerPoint.
Okay.
Okay? Any questions?